Good morning again, distinguished delegates. I now call to order the fifth meeting of the 15th session of the Committee for the Review of the Implementation of the Convention to Combat Desertification. Distinguished delegates, I now invite the committee to resume its consideration of Agenda Item 4, Consideration of Best Practices in Implementation of the Convention, with a sub-item entitled Accessibility of Information on Best Practices through the Science Brokerage Knowledge Storage Brokering Portal and the Capacity Building Marketplace. I would like to invite delegation to continue their discussion on the agenda item. I would also like to reiterate my commendation to delegates yesterday for the respect of time, and I would expect you to continue in this morning. We would like to keep this session to 1 hour maximum. I would start by giving the floor to Colombia from yesterday's request. Colombia, you have the floor. Okay, Colombia do not want the floor anymore, so I now give the floor to the Philippines from yesterday's request. Is the Philippines? They are the Philippines. Philippines, you have the floor? Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I would like to raise a point and share our experience on the dissemination of and accessibility to best practices on sustainable land management technologies using WCAT online database. Well, we are among the countries that utilize the WCAT tools and methodologies in documenting sustainable land management technologies to produce sustainable land management case studies. Although not as a UNCCD counterparty, but as an affiliated entity we called PILCAT, or Philippine Overview of Conservation Approaches and Technologies. As a matter of fact, from 2014 to 2016, we were able to document 25 SLM technologies and approaches. That is, aside from the 15 SLM technologies and approaches which were documented in mid-2000. All of them are now easily accessible in our PILCAT SLM website. And right now, we are now finalizing the video documentation of selected SLM technologies. And those will be uploaded soon in the same website. While all of these case studies are already available online, the accessibility of this information on the point of view of small land users should be looked into as well. In this case, all of these SLM case studies generated through the WCAT online database should be further processed into simpler and more easily understandable IEC materials. And this can be translated into local dialects, which we are doing right now, so that the knowledge can be broadly disseminated and reach more land users, even down to the grassroots level. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Philippines. We now have Timor-Leste.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be here at this Union HQ compound, attending this CRIC 15 UNCCD meeting. I would like to thank you, the UNCCD Secretariat, in particular the Government of Republic of Kenya, and congratulate for him hosting this important meeting for the second time. Certainly, I must say, a job well done. I'm pleased to be able to learn through this 3 days meeting about the progress that have been achieved, the present challenges on the implementation, the new strategies for land degradation neutrality at the country level, which shall be reflecting in the future improved implementation of the building blocks of LDN target setting of UNCCD. I believe strongly in the Proverbs saying, caring is sharing. That's why my recommendation is to all delegates for continually being cooperative, communicative, to share skills and knowledge about how to combat land degradation and mitigate land desertification and drought, not only by in their reporting using price formats, but also making the best use of UNCC portal knowledge sharing that has been just developed to share real-time technical experiences in the implementation of UNCCD programs and related projects, especially showing the best practices and lessons learned in writing as well as in audiovisual formats. Thank you for all your attention and good cooperation that have been given to Timor-Leste. Thank you.
Thank you. The floor belongs to Nigeria.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Please, for brevity of time, permit me to stand on all existing protocols. I want to appreciate the presenter of yesterday of the subject matter we're discussing this morning. Regarding the activity of the SKBP and the marketplace capacity building, we welcome the activities of the Secretariat in that regard. It's our belief that the portal and the CBM will enhance information sharing and popularize knowledge about LDN and other CCD-related activities. I want to share our experience, particularly in 2014, what the CBM did during the reporting exercise, where focal points were specifically trained, and I was a beneficiary, and some of my colleagues. So I believe this portal and the CBN is a welcome development in the CCD process. And so my delegation welcomed the conclusions and the recommendations regarding the SKBP and the CBN. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Nigeria. European Union, you have the floor.
Distinguished Chair, distinguished delegates, I am honored to speak on behalf of the European Union. The access to quality and up-to-date information is a precondition for a successful implementation of the Convention. Thus, following the Decision 20 of COP12, we welcome this report on accessibility of information on best practices through the Scientific Knowledge Brokering Portal and the Capacity Building Marketplace. Regarding the cooperation with VOCAT about the best practices in sustainable land management technologies, including adaptation, we take note of the up-to-date progress made for a revised online facility to be fully operated. We note with satisfaction that since August 2016, a new revised VOCAT database is functional. In this regard, and as for future submitting of best practices to the database by parties, in this regard, the Secretariat should make available guidelines and support tools to facilitate the utilization of the SKBM system. We recognize the work done so far on the development and enhancement of SKBM, and we note with satisfaction that its full-size version is being developed according to the plan. We welcome that the Unccd Knowledge Hub final goal is to provide all UNCCD stakeholders with a wide range of knowledge and access to the best practices and other relevant information, and we are hoping to see it changing into a user-friendly, modern and practical tool for knowledge dissemination to all UNCCD stakeholders. We would like to encourage the Secretariat to further development of the UNCCD Knowledge Hub using innovative approaches, and we look forward for being fully operational. Regarding the UNCCD CBM, we take note of the recent action undertaken by CBM, and we would welcome further development of its capacity building efforts relating to the policy, legislative and institutional framework of the UNCCD. We consider the awareness raising and the involvement of broad public into land protection activities as very important for future land protecting activities as participation of local communities is essential for effective implementation of the Convention strategy. An essential aspect to include in the recommendation would be emphasizing the importance of tools and actions that are gender responsive, engage youth, and are accessible also to vulnerable groups. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, distinguished delegations.
Thank you, EU. We have now the CSO speaker.
Mr. Chair, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bhavani Shankar Kusum from India. I am speaking on behalf of the CSOs. Thank you for providing me with this opportunity. We are honored to be able to use this opportunity to access our views on the UNCCD's scientific knowledge brokering portal on behalf of CSOs engaged in the implementation of the convention. There should be no doubt that many of the solutions to the challenges of sustainable land use lie in the knowledge economy, from the high-level decision makers to the farmers in the fields. Mr. Chair, we would like to thank the Secretariat for its initiative in this regard, the parties for requesting the supporting the development of the SKBP, VOCAT for offering access to its invaluable knowledge management tools, and the Swiss government for funding their development. Whereas the draft portal available on the website provides access to the knowledge products of a number of networks and organizations via hyperlinks, it is best suited to the researchers and professionals rather than the farmers and practitioners. We propose that the portal should be designed in a more intuitive manner to easily direct the users to appropriate knowledge products. Specifically, we would like to see that access to information via the portal must be more user-friendly, and there should be a direct link to the VOCAT site. But currently, the site simply offers links to a range of knowledge sites without providing any guidance as to what they offer. There needs to be a simple path to guide users to different sorts of information designed for different audiences. The VOCAT video series is a good example of the sort of material that farmers can easily relate to learn from. More of many success stories on best practices implemented by CBOs, CSOs, and the individuals should be made accessible through the UNCCD Knowledge Hub. Mr. Chair, programs, plans for training for the community people, land users should be disseminated in such a manner that the members of marginalized groups such as youth, women, and particularly land users could get benefit from it. Direct links to relevant training materials are needed here. Educate information, education, and communication and training materials related to these themes should be accessible via the CBMP site in UN languages so as to be useful for land users. The site could also facilitate translation into local national languages to make it more useful for the community people at grassroots levels. Mr. Chair, contact details of the universities hosting UNCCD courses, organizing competitions, exhibitions, etc., should be made available for the users on different forums, networks, websites, etc., so that the students or the people from any segments of the society should get full advantage of them. In order to effectively popularize World Day to combat desertification and involve people from all walks of the society in the various events, campaigns to be organized online and on the ground in various ways on the day, resources must be allocated to CSOs rooted in land-using communities. Mr. Chair, finally, we appreciate the crowdfunding and donation page, as this can help CSOs to raise funds on the basis of the stories about their work, including the challenges and the successes that they have achieved. But it needs to be modified to make it more useful, friendly, and interactive. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, CSO representative. You have just listened to the last speaker on my list. I now invite the representative of Unccd to respond to the comments and questions raised by delegations.
So I'd like to thank all distinguished delegates for their kind comments and recommendations and suggestions. One of the questions that we received yesterday was to do a live demo. Given that the Wi-Fi, as we've experienced in this room, is not necessarily as good, I did do like a brief recording that I did last night that I can show to just demonstrate a few of the things relating to a few of the questions we had yesterday. So for that, I would like to move over to the screen there and see if we can get that. One of the questions was about rebranding of the SKBP, which I think we all acknowledge to be a rather complicated acronym into the Unccd Knowledge Hub. That's something that we've taken a first step with the launch of the Knowledge Hub earlier this week. The intention of the Knowledge Hub is to bring together all knowledge products of the Unccd. So there will be one place where all information is accessible. WCAG best practices have been discussed many times before as well, are also available and channeled to the Knowledge Hub. If you search the Knowledge Hub, you will find a page about WCAG, and then you will also find all the best practices that have been reported through PRAISE before, that are now channeled from WCAG to the Knowledge Hub. You can search by country, keyword. There are many different search options available there. When you find the information on a specific best practice, again, these are the best practices that have been reported through PRAISE over the last couple of years. You will be redirected to the WCAG database. This is a preview of the new WCAG database. When you go to the WCAG website, there's a header there on sustainable land management, which will take you to this website, where WCAG also acknowledges that they are the primary recommended database by the Unccd. There's an option there to add SLM data, which has been made very user-friendly by WCAG. In order to do that, you need to have an account to log in. Both WCAG and the Unccd Secretariat is always available to assist anyone who wants to add data here. This is, you go to www.wcag.net. There's a link there for global database and sustainable land management. There you can go and also create a login and password. When you do that, you can log into the WCAG database and start adding best practices in the new format and using the template that was presented by WCAG in Ankara last year. When you're logged in, you can see that there's many sort of help functions available within WCAG, currently available in 3 languages, while WCAG is working on other languages. The help section provides a very interactive way to provide assistance directly inside the website. But again, both WCAG and the Unccd Secretariat are always available to assist. When you add a new best practice here, they will also be channeled again directly through the Unccd Knowledge Hub, where they will be available for a search together with all the other information that's channeled through the Knowledge Hub. One other important function in the Knowledge Hub is also the information that's been shared by country parties through PRAISE, including information that's been shared earlier this year, which is the knowledge sharing systems, which is essentially a way for country parties to share information on websites, online databases, any type of knowledge sharing systems that they want to make us aware of. they can share that through press, but also just directly through the Knowledge Hub. Again, those are searchable on any of the metadata that's been added in Praise. And they're also displayed on a map where you can find them either by reporting entity or by country coverage, if that has been added in the Praise system. As you can see, there are currently 99 from the Praise system that were added in this year alone. But in reality, there were actually more knowledge sharing systems that were reported, but with some of them we're still talking to the maintainers of the database because we couldn't get the access that we were expecting there. So we do a quality check to make sure that everything is accessible and available, and then we'll immediately add it to the Knowledge Hub. We did the same thing for the roster of experts, which is also searchable in an easy way. You can search the roster by nominating country, or if indicated by the experts themselves, also by the geographical focus of their expertise. Then also the information from the capacity building marketplace is searchable through the same interface. So when you do a search in the Knowledge Hub, you will also find the information directly from the capacity building marketplace. And we can work on further integration also in the near future, now that we have the Knowledge Hub available. Capacity building marketplace is still offering, as they have been doing for a number of years now, many different opportunities that are still sent in on a daily basis by stakeholders from all over the world. There are about 20 or 30 new submissions to the marketplace being processed every single day. And we see a lot more interaction, especially by people who have seen their information published on the marketplace, that then keep contacting us, and we're in a constant dialogue with a huge network of organizations publishing their information there. So when you look at the Knowledge Hub, as it is available on knowledge.unccd.int, you can see that the knowledge products and pillars, we are working on including all knowledge products that are available within the Unccd, but also with our partners. And we very much welcome any additional new partners, while we're working on also making available everything that's created within projects that the Secretariat is involved in. And I would like to invite everybody after this meeting, if anybody wants to have more of a personal demo, please approach me. I will be here. Any questions, anything that you're looking for that you couldn't find immediately, I have something that actually works on the Wi-Fi on my laptop, and I can just show you immediately where you can find the information. And of course, we also welcome any other suggestions for information to be added that's not there yet.
I thank the representative from the Unccd for his statement and clarification, and all delegations for their contribution to this discussion. I would like to remind delegations that the informal consultations towards finalizing the draft report.
First to say that we have concluded.
Oh, sorry, I went ahead of myself. The committee has thus concluded its consideration of agenda item 4. I would like to remind delegations that the informal consultations towards finalizing the draft report of the committee will be held today, starting immediately after the adjournment of the plenary session in conference room 3. Before adjourning the meeting, I would like also to remind delegations that we will continue the final meeting of the committee this afternoon at 4 p.m. to consider the draft report and conclude the 15th session of the committee. In connection with this, I would like to inform you that depending on how the informal consultations progress, the start time of our final meeting may be delayed. Let's hope not. Delegations are therefore requested to consult the TV screens outside our meeting room for the start time of the last meeting of the committee. The meeting is now adjourned.